Good afternoon. My name is Ricardo Alvarez. I lead our consumer service practice at AMI. The practice encompasses a wide range of services, everything from retail, e-commerce, to new digital services that are emerging every day delivered by the internet, as well as traditional services such as education, hospitality, professional services, and others. To try to speak about a couple of trends in such a wide variety of sectors, I chose two. The first one is the marketing phenomena of serving a segment of one. It is always been the goal of marketers to be able to provide a customized product and a customized message to every individual client that they have, but has not been commercially available until very recently. Traditionally, we had only mass marketing channels, and traditionally, the cost of production of a product was such that we had to build large-scale production facilities and provide standard models of products to customers. Similarly, messaging had to target specific segments that consider your gender, your income, where you live, your stage of life, etc. That's how we operated up until very recently. But the disruptive technologies of internet, client communication, and digital products, where the variable cost of creating new product or customized product have been reduced, and the cost is close to zero, we have now an optimal world of segmentation of one, where for a lot of new products and services, you can have a customized product and a customized service for a single individual. Here are some examples on the next page. Here you have 4 companies that maybe you know. Amazon is known as the everything store, but really, Amazon is the everyone store, because Amazon not only has a massive variety of products, but they really do their best to understand your needs, your likes, your dislikes as a customer, and to proactively recommend product and use the right media to your consumption. Rappi is one of the most successful unicorns in Latin American history. Rappi is a Colombian startup that delivers everything you can possibly think of to your door, and is now branching out to Rappi Pay and even to logistics. This is a company that also does an amazing job in tracking your previous orders and making suggestions on what you would like next. Nike now has the ability through a both to an omni-channel approach in the store as well as an online purchases. The ability to customize your food, but also if you want different color variation or you want different design on your shoe, they can accommodate that as well. And América Móvil, the massive cellular phone company that, along with Telefónica, those are the 2 dominant international players in the Latin American cellular business. They've done an amazing job at data mining their customers and driving marketing campaigns that are personalized to each individual. So these are some of the examples of the segment of one. We go to the next page. The second trend, or big trend that I want to talk about today, is the shift from dominance of imported disruptors who arrived mostly from the US, starting back in 1995. Companies like eBay, Expedia, Uber, Craigslist, etc., were and they still are a novelty in many markets in Latin America and continue to make inroads. And certainly in the smaller markets in the region, are the dominant, if not the only companies in their space. By the way, regarding Airbnb, We have conducted some research around hospitality usage in Mexico and uncovered some very interesting insights about the preference for Airbnb versus hotels, and in which demographic and what's driving that. And that is available, that study is available in our website. But going back to the disruption topic, is that what we are starting to see, or what we are actually being seeing now for over a decade, is the second wave, which are really about the copycats. Copycats are companies that are made in Latin America, but are mimicking business models established elsewhere. And based upon the success of those business models that made a small adaptation to the original business model to better suit the Latin American market. So Mercado Libre is a company that has competed for a while now very efficiently, effectively against Alibaba and Amazon. And in fact, Mercado Libre in the smaller market has a greater market share in the region, but we also have, there's also companies like Easy Taxi and Rappi, which I mentioned. Rappi is a Colombian startup that now is in 8 markets in the region. Those are the copycats, and those are the companies that are driving the disruption today. Because it's not just one company. In many cases, it's a company being replicated in many markets. In conclusion, copycats are driving the market right now. We do believe, however, that we're going to see more original ideas, disruptive ideas coming from Latin America that have the ability to export to the entire world. A couple of examples that are already out there are Satellogic and Bot Control. Both companies are based in Argentina, and there's another example in Brazil with eBanks. Yes, I think that those are related to the examples that I provided on Nike, América Móvil, and Rappi. Basically, these companies are using what is called machine learning, which is part of the artificial intelligence. And what they are doing is applying a discipline that tries to design, understand, and use computer programs that learn from experience for the purpose of modeling, predicting, and control. So while I don't want to answer like many people answer that they use an algorithm, but they can do a prediction based on the problem they formulated before. In the case of Nike, for instance, they said, okay, there's an industry that is always talking about the size of the foot. I'm a 10, I'm an 8. So that is no longer the way consumers are going to buy these shoes. So they formulate the problem and they learn from examples. So based on the databases that they have, over and over, what machine learning does is that they make the situation and they solve the situation on a scalable way. So the machine will try to automate the process to find the solution, in this case, in this example, to see the size of your foot. And the most common example of the machine learning is Netflix, that the same consumers are tailoring what they like, what they don't like, and the genre when they watch movies or TV shows. So I hope I answered the question. Yes, we have analyzed that trend close in the region about the smart speakers and personal assistants. The penetration that we have seen until mid of this year in June, it was about 5%. It depends on country by country to country. But the most difficult aspect of that is that consumers want to have those enabled in Portuguese, in Brazil, and Spanish in the rest of the region. The technology is working. The manufacturers are working on that, but the appetite is there, especially in the financial sectors with the fintechs and the greater development are in Asia and Latin America is started a little bit late on this. Now the question about security that we don't have a lot of information, but the information that we have seen and studied is about the smart speakers. Lindsay, I don't know if you want to elaborate more on that based on what we have seen recently.
Sure. Just to mention that this is still very new, as it is in the US, but even more so in Latin America. We're actually doing interviews now with banks, with merchants, with technology companies to understand a little bit their integration and use of these types of technologies, home assistants and things like that. So we don't have a lot of insight yet, but in the next 3 months, probably in Q1 of next year, we'll have some better answers to that question.